Hey guys, I'm currently in the process of watching Brian Zane's WCW Slamboree 2000 review on Wrestling with Regret. And one thing that Brian Zane touched upon doing this, and I'm surprised he hasn't really done a video, but I'm pretty sure he will now, on this subject, is kind of surprising. But the thing he touched upon, which played a major part going into Slamboree, I should say, not Slammiversary, but Slamboree that year, was the New Blood stable. And Brian Zane did have a point in saying that it was kind of weird having the New Blood portrayed as the villains and the rivals, their enemies, the Millionaires Club, portrayed as the heroes. But why was that? Well, here's the thing. I was able to watch a lot of this play out. I was living on my own in Lawrence, Kansas at the time, and I was able to watch most of this play out. In fact, I recorded the May 3rd, 2000 edition of Thunder, because this storyline had become really intriguing. But basically what it was is the storyline consisted of this group of younger, underappreciated, underutilized talent that never really felt that they got a chance, or at least that's what Vince Russo and Eric Bischoff, who were brought back to head creative and head booking and all that, or whatever they were doing, behind the scenes and on screen, basically mostly on screen, had convinced them of. Like, look, you guys, you should have the spotlight. This should be about you because you're underutilized, you're underappreciated, da. So, basically the New Blood came together, and a lot of baby faces at that time that consisted of younger talent, like a Kidman, like a Billy Kidman, like a Booker T temporarily, and others ended up becoming heels. Even Rey Mysterio and Conan became heels, if you will. All because of the fact that they felt like they were not getting their shot. They were not getting their opportunities. And from a storyline perspective, you would think this would be something that fans could get behind, that fans would feel sympathy for and actually want to support. And while on the other end, they'd want to boo the Millionaires Club, the veterans, the legends of the past that WCW would always depend on, who are not willing to let go of their spots or their positions in the company, or not willing to put over talent the way they should, so that talent could get over. So in a way, Brian Zane did bring up a good point, that it felt kind of weird having the roles roles reversed, to where the New Blood, the younger talent, were the heels, or the younger, underappreciated talent, underutilized talent were the heels, and the Millionaires Club, the legends, the veterans, and all that were the baby faces. It does kind of feel a little awkward, but there was a reason for it. There was an actual reason for it. The reason being is, from what I could tell, the way they were portraying the New Blood is they had basically, thanks to Russo and Bischoff, had reached a boiling point. Had basically had it up to here with not getting opportunities. So they were basically, as some people would put it in storyline, convinced to get rebellious, to go renegade, if you will, and basically do whatever it takes to put these legends out, or basically take them out of the positions that they're in and reclaim those positions from themselves. Whether it was spilling symbolic red fluid from the ceilings, or dousing them with that fluid through buckets or whatever. They did what they basically had to do. And by doing this, it did get them booed, because it's like, look, if you're better, because to a fan, to a casual and if not a hardcore fan, The story is like, the story that plays out in our eyes is, hey, if you say you are all that, if you say you're better, if you say you're better than this person, why don't you get in the ring and you prove it? You prove you're better. You prove it by out wrestling them, outperforming them, showing that, see, I can move faster, I can go longer than you. Let me take over. Let me take your spot. And all that. But the way the New Blood was positioned was basically in storyline, like I said, they had just had it up to here. They were sick and tired of waiting, and they decided, thanks to Russo and Bischoff's influence, to take no prisoners and basically do whatever it took to succeed. And that's what they did. And like I said, that's what they did. And basically, that's why they got booed. I mean, even the way they would act sometimes when they would basically beat up on somebody like a veteran, attack them from behind in a gang mentality kind of way, or even believe it or not, basically take them on. Well, not believe it or not, but basically, what I'm saying is even take them on in a match. Sometimes when they would get the advantage on them, like knock them down, kind of like I said, kind of have the advantage. Basically, the way they were portrayed is they would pose and they would trash talk and go like, see, they'd be like posing and be like, see, look at that guy. I beat him down just like that. I haven't even won the match yet. Beat him like that. Shows you I'm the best. Shows you I'm the future. That's how I wouldn't say that that's how they acted, but it was very similar. And that's why they were positioned, as hypocritical as it sounds, as the heels. Because of the fact that they would attack from behind, they would symbolically, like I say, douse members of the Millionaires Club in red fluid. And then basically, when they would take them on in a match, either it was one-on-one, six-man, regular tag team, whatever, anytime they'd get the advantage, they would just act all cocky, like, see, it's nothing. See, this is why this person should go away kind of deal. And I'm going to put it to you like this. I'm going to put it to you like this. Should the New Blood storyline been done in a way to where, even though it got people's attention, it could have symbolically been something that we as fans could have gotten behind and supported, mostly when it came to the New Blood stable. Absolutely. But again, the problem was they booked the stable in a way that like I said, it got our attention, it got us interested, it got people to tune in, because basically what this was the New Blood was basically the focal point of a reboot attempt by WCW to try to get people's attention on the product, and it worked for a while. It really did. I mean, heck, they even went as far as put the freaking WCW World Championship on David Arquette. The point is, the New Blood story arc had a lot of potential. But everybody's always wondering, well, what killed the New Blood stable? What killed it? I mean, they obviously reached the apex when they had the August Hog Wild or Road Wild pay-per-view replaced with New Blood Rising. What took it down? What caused it to fail? And what caused it to fail, in my opinion, is a lot of backstage politicking. Whether you can pinpoint that to Bash at the Beach, to things happening afterwards, to them turning Goldberg heel, to them including the likes of Kurt Hennig and then later Kevin Nash as mentors, and then as regular members who would compete for them. It's just bonkers, if you will. Just completely bonkers. Because there is no decisive place to pinpoint, like, where the New Blood story arc went off the rails. But again, was it something that got people watching WCW again for a while? Did it help the ratings a little bit? Did it help the viewership? Yeah, it did. But whenever the time for, I'll look at it this way, between June and September of 2000, that's when the railings for the New Blood storyline came off. That's when the tires, the wheels broke down and popped, if you will. Basically, that's when the balloon finally just burst and there was nothing left. Nothing but pieces, shattered pieces. And honestly, they could have done a lot with this. Now, did they try to salvage what they had? Yes. They tried to salvage it by taking some of the members and saying, you know what? Nobody's going to boo Kidman. He's too likable. Bam. Babyface. Turn him into babyface. Act like his run with the New Blood never existed. Oh, but what do you do with his girlfriend, Tori Wilson? What do you do with her? Oh, I know. We'll just keep her heel, but we'll just have her turn on Kidman and go with Shane Douglas. They tried to salvage it, no doubt. They tried to by at least putting a little bit more emphasis on the younger talent, but still you had the older talent coming in once in a while and shining. That's what you did. You had that. There's no doubt. You had that. I mean, it's just, I think it's just one of those situations to where WCW had a gold mine on their hands with the storyline, but I think thanks to backstage politicking, just blew it away. I hate to say that, but that's what it sounds like. That basically backstage politicking caused this potentially good storyline to be blown away. And if it wasn't for that backstage politicking, who knows what we would have gotten? Who knows what we would have gotten beyond that? Because if New Blood Rising was like the apex for them, was basically, I'll put it this way, if New Blood Rising was their equivalent to what WWE did in the past by naming pay-per-views after stables or after people's finishers, like In Your House, Degeneration X, or In Your House, Rock Bottom. If that was the equivalent for them, then if that was their apex, then they should have been able to continue that momentum, but it didn't happen. It didn't happen, and things just did not go the way they wanted. Again, like I said, did they try to salvage what they had? Absolutely. But in the end, it just wasn't enough. But I just thought I'd take this time, give my thoughts on the New Blood storyline that happened in 2000. I want to thank Brian Zane for kind of giving me the inspiration to do this because of him doing his Slamboree 2000 review. But yeah, I just feel like they could have done a lot more with the story arc. And I think it's all the backstage politicking between June and September of that year that caused the downfall of the New Blood storyline. So, a lot of backstage politicking and decisions that obviously made sense, didn't make sense. It just didn't help it in the end. So that's all I'm going to say, guys. Let me know what you all think down below. I got to get back into work now. It is the 4th of July, so have a happy and safe 4th of July. And I will talk to you all later.